Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our Google Hangout. This is a rather interesting occasion for Jackie and I because it's our first Google Hangout. So if you're new to Google hanging out, as we are, then welcome along. If you're an old hand at Hangout, then you probably know more about this than we do, but we look to you to help us out. Anyway, as I said, a good afternoon to you and a welcome to the South Wales Business School. And we're broadcasting live today from our boardroom at the City campus in Newport. I have to say that we have a very nice, rather bright white wall behind us, and we're facing a rather splendid view of the cityscape of Newport. Unfortunately, the camera, if we were to turn it around, wouldn't pick that up. But I just wanted to emphasize the fact that we don't just live in a white box, although I'm sure there are a few people that would like to put us in a white box on occasions. Anyway, let me make some introductions, or more particularly and more accurately, let me ask Jackie to introduce herself.
Thank you, Jonathan. My name is Jackie Harris, and I'm one of the judges on the Making Business Happen Awards, but I'm also a senior lecturer here at University of South Wales, and I lecture in marketing and entrepreneurship. So I'm really looking forward to your questions this afternoon. And shall we get ready, Jonathan?
Yes. Shall I introduce myself a little bit?
You introduce yourself.
So I'm Dr. Jonathan Deacon. I'm a reader here at the South Wales Business School. And my particular area is marketing and entrepreneurship. And I suppose more particularly it's the area of entrepreneurial marketing, which is an area of it's an area of marketing that's growing in importance. We like to say, and both Jackie and I research in this area, that there's a little bit of marketing in all entrepreneurship, and there's a little bit of entrepreneurship in all marketing. And there's also a thing called entrepreneurial marketing, where those two things come together. And then there's a further element, which is all of those things that are currently taking place within our entrepreneurial business environment, all of those really interesting and novel and innovative ideas and ways of going to market, which have yet to be fully articulated perhaps in the academic world, and certainly not necessarily particularly well understood from a practitioner point of view. So that's the kind of area that we work in. And I'm a co-director of the Making Business Happen Awards, and very pleased to be able to do that and to be part of that. So you're most welcome to join us anyway. Shall we then take a little look at the Making Business Happen Awards and what they're about and why we have introduced them. The Making Business Happen Awards were introduced by the University of South Wales to celebrate the successes of not just those businesses and enterprises that have been established by graduates, but also to encourage aspiring entrepreneurs to throw their hat in the ring, to come forward with their ideas. Because what we want to do in all cases, as an institution and as a business school, is to support you and your business. We want to make business happen. Unlike other awards that will just give you some money and thank you very much for your entry, what our awards are about are that we want to encourage your business to either start or grow. And we're offering, yes, prize money, but we see it much more as an investment. And we are also, and I think this is the most important part, we're offering a package of support around those prizes. So we'll get into the detail of that in a short while, but that's a very quick picture of what the Making Business Happen Awards are about. In essence, we want to celebrate enterprise from graduates and also from our aspiring new entrepreneurs, people that have got some great ideas but maybe need a little bit of help to get those ideas off the ground, get them running, and change the world. Do you want to, should we start talking about the awards, the categories of the awards?
If you want to. Yes.
Okay. So when we began to look at the awards, we thought we'd like to, as I said earlier on, celebrate some areas. And the first area that we'd like to talk to you about is our Aspiring Entrepreneur Awards. Now, I'm pretty certain that watching us today will be some potential entrants for this award. This is a national award, UK-wide, and it's aimed at those of you that are undertaking a level 3 qualification. So an AS or A-level, a BTEC national diploma, or their equivalents. And you'll have to excuse me for occasionally looking at my notes because there's quite a lot of detail in those areas. So what we wanted to do was to encourage you to come forward with your enterprising ideas. An idea that you may have with some of your friends and colleagues at your institutions that would like to start a business, but maybe you need a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of cash and some support to do that. You may already be in a situation where you have some of those facilities at hand, but we can help you enhance that. And actually, what awards are also about, other than just those aspects of winning some money or getting some support, awards are a great way of putting your idea on the map and getting recognition for how good you are, and attracting then all sorts of other entrepreneurs, perhaps those that are already successful, to come and help you out with those ideas. So there's a whole different kind of set of circumstances here that we may need to consider. Anyway, the Aspiring Entrepreneurs, open to any school and college student taking those level 3 qualifications. The prizes, do you want to talk about the prizes?
Yes, the winners of the Aspiring Entrepreneurs Award and their college or school will receive £10,000, as well as business support package, which will be help in mentoring and getting the business up off the ground or the idea developed a bit further. So that's great.
So 10K split 50-50 between either the individual or the team that have made the application and put their ideas forward, and then the other half goes to the school or the college as an investment in their enterprise education and or their enterprise area. So everybody,
£10,000 is a lot.
£10,000. We've both been involved in business, Jackie and I, over the years, not necessarily together, I have to say, but individually. And I look back and I think
10,000, yes, please.
10K, certainly when we were in school, that would have been quite a thing, and would have really, I think, been something that I would have most certainly got involved with. The thought of, if not winning that, certainly being part of that process and getting involved in this. Now, the package of support that comes with that 10K, it comes from both our fantastic supporters of the Making Business Happen Awards and also from within the business school. So there's business school folks across every area. So from finance to law, through to marketing, through to strategy, HR, all sorts of different areas of which you could pick and choose the support that you potentially needed or you thought you needed. And then externally, we have supporters. And our key supporters are people like NatWest Bank, Santander Bank, Albury Management Centre, Making Business, Fresh Business Thinking, Insider Magazine. So lots of people that can help out, as well as we have opportunities for mentoring from various individuals who are on board and are going to help us with some of the mentoring. And that's nationally. We've got people all over the UK that can help you out. So Aspiring Entrepreneurs, 10K, 50-50 split, your team, you as an individual, and how you do that. I was talking to some youngsters the other day who have a fantastic idea, and they were saying, can we split that £5,000 that we get for our team? Does it have to be equally spread, or can we choose who gets more and whose idea? That's up to you, what you do with it or how you distribute it amongst your team. What we do ask is that you use it as an investment in your future business. and how you go about your thoughts about how you want to do
That's
your
worth
business in the
considering,
future.
though, isn't it? Before you enter, how you might use that if you should win it.
Yeah. So what's the thing that we always say about people when they start a business? That there are two things. People spend a lot of time thinking about starting a business.
Yeah.
But what's the bit that they miss out on?
What it looks like,
What
passion and sorting. Who's going to do what?
Who's going to do what? And then what's going to happen at the end of the business?
Yeah.
You know, how are we going to exit that business? So it's a bit like this awards. You know, think about those things before you get into it. Okay. Second category.
The second category is the USW Entrepreneurs Challenge. And this is a really exciting one for us because we know that those of you out there who are USW students, or you have been USW students in the past because you're from the former universities of Newport or Glamorgan, we know you're entrepreneurial because we've met you, we've taught many of you, and we would love to see you again. And the USW Challenge is open to current and former students of USW and its associate colleges and universities. So if you've got a business idea, or you have started a business in the last 3 years, come and enter yourself for the USW Challenge. The prize is on offer for the USW Challenge.
We've got packages of 5k, £5,000 for that again, and again that's an investment plus that package of support. Now, because it's our internal audience, if you like, what we've also got there are incubator space and support coming in from our Bright Ideas team, our Grad Edge team, and the business loft here in the city of Newport. So a lot of internal support, which I think you can plug into and really make that prize winning work for you. And of course, you have us on the ground, Jackie and I and our colleagues who will be more than willing to help you out with those business ideas. The final two categories, both national and both relatively similar, in as much that we want to encourage those of you that are graduates. Now, I met somebody the other day who said, well, I'm a mature student and I've just graduated. Can I enter? Absolutely. If you're a graduate of any UK university and you have a business which is based in the UK, you can enter either of these awards. There's no age bar. And so long as you're in the UK, there's no geographic bar either. So the first one is our Graduate Startup Award. What we're looking for are businesses that have been founded, I should say, by a UK graduate in the last 3 years, and you're in that startup phase. You're probably just coming to the end of that startup phase. It's a difficult phase to be in. If you can survive the first 3 years, you've really got a pretty good chance of surviving then and making your business sustainable. But it's those first 3 years are always the tricky bit. And what we're saying is we recognize that, and we'd like to support you in making your great business be one of those that not only survives, but can move into the sustainable phase of business. To that end, we're offering, again, a similar package of funding and prize money. Prize money and support. So what have we got on the prize fund money for that?
Well, the prize money for this is £12,500, which
wow.
I think is incredible, particularly for those people who have been in business for 3 years. Just imagine what that would do, that extra injection of cash would do for your business at this moment in time. So I think that's you know.
I think that, and again, coupled with the support package, that there would be experts on hand to make you invest that, or to help you invest that money in a very sensible and wise way. You know, that could be just the injection that your business needs to move from the startup phase into the more sustainable and established phase.
So what sort of thing could they use £12,500 for, Jonathan? You know, would it be stock? Would it be people? Would it be training? Would it be, could it be?
It could be anything. I think that the wisest place to invest those kind of sums of money would be in the people. After all, we're in a world of knowledge-based economy, knowledge-based businesses, and whatever you do in a business, to be honest, today it's around knowledge. So the knowledge of how you do business better, or maybe how you take your business to market better. So I think, you know, 12.5K, if it were I'd be thinking about how can I use that to maybe enhance my digital presence, How can I use it maybe to get some development, personal development in areas that I'm not comfortable with. Now, those areas typically in business tend to be finance. So could I invest it in some courses in finance, or getting a better understanding of financial knowledge, so I can run my business better? But equally so, it could be that you have a business that is, let's choose one out of the air. Maybe you run a fashion business, and the next big fashion event is going to be in Milan, and you think your business would benefit from having a presence in Milan at that time. And it could be just to go there and do some networking, just to go and see some people, get new ideas, then use your 12.5K to get to Milan, to have a look at that business scene and what's happening. So it's this money is there to be invested in the business to make your business bigger and better. So as far as where you invest it, that's what we're kind of looking for.
Would it be a good idea for when they enter the competition to sort of say how they might use that money if they should win?
Yeah, we are kind of looking for that within the entry process, which we'll come on to in a short while. What we're looking for in that. But before we move on, the final category then is the other side of that graduate startup. It's the graduate SME growth business, open to any business which has been founded and still has the founder in place, I should say, by a UK graduate at a UK institution and still based in the UK. So it's open for that type of graduate. We're looking for a business which has survived the first 3 years and probably into a growth kind of stage, or needing to move into the growth stage. And we're looking for businesses that can explain to us really what they did to survive the first 3 years and what they're now looking to do and how they're looking to grow. The prize fund for that again is £12,500. First prize. There's a second prize there as well. But we're looking to assist you in developing that business. But you have to tell us how you want to develop that business. So not only just the cash, I think actually here in the growth stage, it's the expertise that we have on offer, both within the South Wales Business School and from our supporters and our sponsors of the awards, that can really help you take your business into that stage of growth. That's what the UK economy needs. It's what every regional economy needs, growth businesses. Growth businesses do two things. They generate a lot of income and a lot of wealth, which can be embedded back into the locality, so everybody benefits. The second thing is growth businesses tend to require employees. And what we'd like to think is that growth businesses would employ really good quality business graduates, marketing graduates, HR graduates to help you grow that business. Okay, so there are awards, bit of an introduction about them. How do you enter? Entry is really, I think, very simple, because you already have much of the information that you need to enter to hand, in as much that if you're one of our aspiring entrepreneurs, the chances are you will have been studying business, and or you will be perhaps part of a young enterprise or a Shell Livewire type project. You will have the detail there that you can just cut and paste and drop into our entry boxes on our forms. So it's online. Entry is online, and they're all pretty similar. What we're asking you to do is to give us some of the components of a business plan. So there's things like the financial bit, there's things about the market bit, there's things about how you have done what you've done so far, the background to the study, background to the business, and so on. So it's really quite straightforward. You probably have that information. Certainly our last two categories, the startup and the SME growth, if you've got a business plan, you can cut and paste and drop those bits into our entry form straight away. All online. Really very, very simple. Once we have got your entry, Entries close, by the way, relatively soon on the 12th of December. Sorry, you're catching me glancing every and again. I'm just looking at all the questions that are stacking up, which we'll get round to very quickly. Once we have your entries, then we have a panel of judges made up of internal experts here from the South Wales Business School at the University of South Wales. We also have, of course, some of our sponsors who are willing and have been tremendously helpful in setting out our judging criteria. What are we looking for? Well, we're looking for all the essential bits that you have in a business plan. We're looking for a great business, well articulated, and something that has the feel and look about a business that is going to be sustainable. We've done the prizes.
Okay, so we should start answering some questions then. Why
yeah,
not?
you know me, I'll talk all night.
Yes,
so
yeah, it's about time here.
keep me on track. You carry on then.
Okay.
I'll shut up for a while.
So let's select this first one.
So what have we got? Okay.
What would be an essential or desirable, apart from your name and business name, to be included in the elevator pitch? From Lyndon. Well, good afternoon, Lyndon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Lyndon. Just to explain to other viewers this afternoon, the criteria, part of the criteria for the aspiring entrepreneurs is that they will be invited in, a long list will be invited in to make a pitch to us. All entries as well are encouraged to make a little video pitch of what their plan is about. So I think it relates to that. So do you want to have a crack at that one, Jackie?
What would be included in the elevator pitch?
Yeah.
Well, the concept of the elevator pitch is if you got into an elevator, obviously a lift over in the UK, and you have about 30 seconds to pitch the idea of your business to somebody who is a business investor. Say you were lucky enough to get into the lift with Richard Branson or Sir Alan Sugar, and you've got your one chance in a million of selling your business. So it's about what you do, what problem do you solve, and how do you solve it uniquely? What benefit do you bring to that potential customer? And possibly, how much money do you need to set it up? What investment do you need? Is that about it? Do you think? That's
about it. Remember, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, Jackie and I set up an innovative entrepreneurship master's course here at the university. And we had a whole host of really excellent students that came forward for that, many of which have gone on to establish very successful businesses, I'm pleased to say. And one of them, I think it might have been Helen, who came to us and said, what you need to do in an elevator pitch is ask a question. Always start an elevator pitch with a question, because it engages the audience. So instead of saying my business is about making the best wine gums ever because they keep their flavor, you know, not that she did a wine gum business, but maybe you should start the question by saying, do you like wine gums? And if you do, have you ever noticed how the flavor tends to go after a short while? Wouldn't it be great if, you know, if there was a much more punchy flavor or different flavors? So you start the pitch with a question, and that really engages that person, you know, because if they have that problem themselves, if they've noticed that themselves, then already they're halfway to thinking, well, if you can solve that, then I'm interested.
Chewing gum's a good one. Chewing gum loses its flavor.
There we go.
Anyway.
Yeah.
There's a lovely question here. I'm just going to click on this one here because I think this is a really good question. And this is from Busy Day. I've just set up a charity. Would the business support package that is offered as a prize still be relevant to me? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what type of business, whether it's a for-profit or not-for-profit business. Any business that adds value in any way is eligible for these awards.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Download the information, download the application forms, do your creative, and enter.
Yep. When we think about social enterprises, really, I think sometimes we are misled in the use of that phrase as to what that enterprise is about. It's an enterprise. It should have all of the things in it that a for-profit enterprises. I actually term it slightly differently these days to being an enterprise that doesn't make a loss. It's a not for loss rather than a not for profit. But all the things that you would expect to have in a business, the fundamentals should be there. For instance, you should be as Jackie has just said, you should be about creating a value, should be about solving a problem, whatever that problem may be. It may be a social problem that your enterprise sets out to solve or to overcome. That's fine, very eligible, would love to see those kind of applications, please.
Okay, and here's another good question as well, and I think it's probably something that a lot of people will be asking, and that is, please can you give me more information about the support packages available to award winners? Oh, sorry, not that one.
Okay, well, I can talk about that.
Yeah, go on.
I've already talked a bit about it.
Yes.
Packages of support which range from, just to reiterate really, internal stuff from the business school. So you could have Jackie and I or some of our colleagues working on how you enhance your digital marketing, for instance, in your business. That we can think about a project which we could run with you up to the value of about 10K, I would think, on that in our time, which would be a pretty valuable proposition. Through to, so we've got internal stuff here at the business school, but we've also got mentors being offered from NatWest Bank and from Santander Bank. We've got publicity, national publicity in traditional press, in magazines and so on, from Insider Magazine. We've got digital publicity coming from Fresh Business Thinking. If you haven't already logged on to Fresh Business Thinking, have a look at them, www.freshbusinessthinking.co.uk. A massive resource, online resource for entrepreneurs, run by a very entrepreneurial couple of people that we know, massively supportive to our awards, but also would be very, very valuable to get your name in there. Drop them a line, tell them that you've entered, tell them that you're part of the Making Business Happen story, and I'm sure they will give you some publicity. And that's national, in fact international, I suspect these days.
That's really important, isn't it, to be part of a community, because I think sometimes running a business is quite daunting, can be quite scary, and can be quite lonely, especially if you're the only one in the business. But if there's a team of you, obviously sometimes it's really nice to talk, get outside opinions. You don't have to take those opinions on board, that advice on board, but it's always useful. There's a lovely one here now. Can I enter more than one of the Making Business Happen awards? That's a really good question.
Yeah. As long as you're eligible and you read the criteria carefully and you're sure that you are eligible, then absolutely, no problem at all.
Okay, and another one associated with actual applications is from Moira. She's apologising because she's asking another question. I'm really interested in the finance side of things, so can you tell me what type and level of financial information I need to include in my entry? Okay,
what I have asked for in the entry mechanism is that you upload the minimum that we're looking for would be a profit and loss and a cash flow. However, you may have more detailed information than that. You may have, for instance, your last set of audited accounts or the last set of accounts that you used for a VAT return and or a tax return if you're in one of the current established businesses. If you don't have those things, then you need to certainly have a minimum P&L account and a cash flow account. One of the areas that I think has, I've had an inquiry before offline about this, is the nature of security around financial information. Everything that comes in on your entry forms will remain highly secure and will only ever be seen by the judges and or the team at Making Business Happen, who are all aware of the need for security and anonymity to some extent, so and privacy. So all accounting information will be kept and really seen only by a few people. So I want to reassure you, and I'm probably not doing a very good job of it, but reassure you that information is going to be kept secure, and that it will remain private, and it's not going to be shared with anyone other than the 5 judges on any one category. And bearing in mind that those judges will be covered by privacy conditions and statements from their own organizations. So for instance, internally here in the university, we have an agreement that information is kept private and secure, and if the judge happens to be from the NatWest Bank or Santander, believe you me, they understand those conditions too. So rest assured, we're not going to share your information with the world or anyone, just the judges on the particular categories.
Okay, great. The next one I think is a really good question. Can the awards be entered as an individual who aspires to generate a team with the award revenue?
Yeah, why not? If you want to grow the idea into an idea that becomes a bigger concern, more people involved, that's what these awards are about. So there's kind of, I think there's a couple of questions within that question actually, which may need a little bit of discussion. You can enter as an individual. You can enter as an individual who has a team around them, so long as the individual that enters is the person that has established a business and is the graduate in particularly. So that's Sean's question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I met Sean probably last week, I think, wasn't it, Sean? We met at the digital marketing show, I think, and I was having a chat to him and his team. So great team, great business that they have there. Really interesting, involved in the digital world. One of the team happens to be a graduate, and they were a founding member of the business. So that person can enter, and then the team around them don't have to be graduates, but they're part of that team. So that's fine by us.
So only one person in the team has to qualify for the criteria.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Because you could imagine, couldn't you, where you might have a team that was a business which was started by a UK graduate, let's say I don't know, a bioscience person, but as the management team grew, they might bring in people that had more experience, but were not necessarily graduates, perhaps, or graduates of a UK institution. As long as that person who founded the business is a UK graduate, then that's fine.
Okay, let's stick with applications, and here's one from Martin, and he's asking, I'm about to complete the entry form. Is there a maximum word limit for any of the form sections so I can plan my entry?
Yep. Every section has a maximum amount of words, and those should fly up when you click on the box. You should get an indication of what they are. I think in roundabout terms, we're not looking for a massive amount of words really for your entry. What we want you to do is to be focused, to give us the real essence of your business or your business idea. I don't think you need massive amount of words for that.
No.
The best business plans that we've seen
absolutely
tend to be the shorter ones.
Yeah. Straight to the point, the unique features, where it adds value, how much is it going to cost, how much potential profit is there, or value to, if we're not talking about profit as an outcome. The shorter, not necessarily the better, but to the point.
And you got to think about the process of judging. If we allowed every entrant to have, I don't know, 30,000 words or something to write their entry, judges would quite rightly say, I don't want to be a judge, thanks very much, because I've got a life to live. And the other aspect of that is that we probably wouldn't have a final in April. The final would probably be April, but 2018. So to get enough information that we can judge, the right information that we can judge, but not so much that it's beyond a sensible workload for all of the judges, then sharp, focused entries is what we want. As Jackie says, tell us about, what is this business about? Why is it good? What problem do you solve? And every one of those little boxes that pop up within the entry will tell you how many words you've got. And I think the field of word limit, I think, is ranging from around about 800 words total for the aspiring entrepreneurs through to about 3,000, I think, for the growth. We've asked for a little bit more in the growth awards, of course, because we want to know how you've grown your business in the first 3 years, and then what you want to do in the next bit of your business journey. And then in the SME, so that's the SME growth part. In the SME startup, what we're interested in there, and you've got a few more words as well. I think what we're looking for there is really for you to tell us about your experiences in setting up. What were the barriers that you found when you were, or you experienced when you were setting up your business? How did you overcome them? But then on the flip side of that, what have you done which went really, really well? And why did it go really well? So tell us about those things. So we've given you a little bit more space to tell us about those things.
Okay, great, thank you. The next one is also related to application. It says, how many stages are there beyond the online entry, and what should we expect from the application process?
How many stages are there? I've got to decipher that question a second. Hang on. Okay, yeah. So online entry by the 12th of December. Underline that. It's red letter day, 12th of December. Just happens to be the birthday of my elder daughter as well, on 12th of December. So there we are. But that's the entry closing day, deadline day.
I think that was a hint to me to send you a card.
Yeah, I think it was. Following that will be a period of judging. We'll sift through all of the entries and make sure that they're in the right category, and then involve our judges, and the judges will judge those things. Now, depending on which category you've entered will depend on what happens next in the process. If you have entered the Aspiring Entrepreneurs Award, we are looking to create a long list of finalists who will be invited to a day here at the South Wales Business School, visit the University of South Wales, take a look around, but on that day, take part in a live pitch of around about 15 minutes with a 5-minute Q&A. You know, the sort of thing that you come across in Young Enterprise and those other activities. You've probably taken part in them already in your business studies experiences. So that's the long list. From that long list, we will then be making a short list, and the shortlisted entries will be invited to our finals event. So park that one for a moment. The next one, the Entrepreneurs Challenge, that's the University of South Wales students. You will be going through a similar process. Your entries will be long listed. You will be invited to make a pitch, and again, the shortlist will then be, the shortlisted entrants will then be invited to our awards ceremony. The startups, we are going to create a shortlist from the start, and we are then going to come and film you and your businesses. So that would be early new year. Similarly with the SME business growth entries, going to shortlist them and then come and film the shortlisted entrants. Why are we filming them? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to make the most of those entries, get them out there into the social media, get lots of publicity for you. But on the evening of the awards, we're going to use those little short films as a way of showing the invited audience what you do and how you do it. So those are the stages. The awards themselves are, the awards ceremony is going to be I'd like to think a pretty fun evening. It's not going to be a black tie event. It's not going to be stuffy. It's going to be entrepreneurial and innovative, and it happens on our second birthday, the second birthday of the University of South Wales, which is on April the 16th.
Okay, that's fantastic. I think there's a really good question here from Lyndon, and he's asking, are there any restrictions on what award funding can be used for? For example, capital purchases are excluded from the Business Ideas Den Awards. I think, as we've stipulated before, Jonathan, that's, you can use the funding for any aspect, so there are no restrictions on how you use that money should you win that award.
Yeah, if think of it as an investment in your business. Now, that investment could be to do with the business itself, or I think you could think about it as being an investment in the knowledge development of the business. Maybe yourself. If there are aspects that you want to develop yourself, which is going to then assist in developing the business, then that's fine.
And this is also good. This is another one from L. Roach. I'm entering the Aspiring Entrepreneurs Award. Can you explain to me how the prizes work? Because I read that they might be shared. Well, I don't know whether you saw us earlier on, Mr. Roach, or Miss Roach. Yes, where were you? But we did explain that £10,000 for the Aspiring Entrepreneurs Award can be shared amongst the team. It's for the school or college and the students who enter the awards, so they can share it however way they want. So
just so that may have been a little bit confusing. £10,000, £5,000 goes to the college or the school, and they can do what they want with that.
So they can pass it back to them as well.
That's what we, just to encourage more enterprise entrepreneurship within that school or college. I know we've had some inquiry from the Peter Jones Academy. So an academy might think, oh, that's great, that's 5K, we could invest that back into our student body, we can take them on a trip, we can get some invited speakers in, I don't know, something like that. The other £5,000, the other half of that, could be distributed amongst a team, if it's a team entry, as you so wish. And each one of those people could choose a different way of using that money to invest in their future business career.
But essentially, the college or the school can determine how that £10,000 is split up. If they want to leave, potentially the students could get the £10,000, all of it, could they?
If the school wanted to, yeah. School or college wanted to, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But that's probably something that you might want to have a discussion with before you enter, is how, if we should win, so you don't get into any problems after winning the prize money, and we don't all fall out with one another.
Like that would happen.
Well, we would hope not. Okay, so shall we answer that one there? Okay, so this is from Stephen. If I'm shortlisted for one of the awards, what happens next?
Hi, Stephen. Well, as we've said, what happens next?
Depends on the award.
Depends on the award.
We did just cover about 5-10 minutes ago, didn't we, what happens with the awards. So briefly, there are things that happen once you are shortlisted. More detail, we have gone back through, we have covered those in the Google Hangout, but those details are also on our website, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I think, what happens next if you're shortlisted is great things and exciting things. One way or another, you will be invited to visit us, either as part of the Aspiring Awards, to come and visit the University of South Wales and the South Wales Business School and meet our colleagues and hear some, I'd like to think, some inspiring talks on that particular day, and then to the awards. If you're shortlisted straight for the awards, if you're an SME startup or an SME growth business, and you're invited and shortlisted, I should say, straight to the awards, what happens next? We come and do a little film with you, and then it is going to be Business Awards. There's going to be a few surprises. But I'd also like to think that it's going to be an event that celebrates enterprise, but also helps those, further helps those people that are shortlisted to make more of their business, to tell other people about their business, to network with our fantastic and very, very helpful sponsors, who I'm sure have lots of information and lots of support that they can give, even if you don't win. Okay, that's great. Thank you. We've got one last question here, okay, which I hope we can answer. Hi there, I'm an MSc student at USW. I have set up a sustainable online project to help unemployed graduates in Zimbabwe. It is a language teaching platform. I need old laptops, solar batteries, technical IT advice. Where can I ask? That's a lot of questions, Taku. Okay, I'm not too sure if that's a question for the Making Business Happen Awards, but I think safe to say that if you were to make yourself known to our Bright Ideas team within the University of South Wales, and or the team that are the Grad Edge team, again, you can access their information through the front page portal of the university website. I'm sure Bright Ideas and or Grad Edge would probably know the people that you need to be talking to, even if they themselves can't help. Okay, and one last question. As an aspiring entrepreneur, what would you say are the main things that will help me be successful in launching my own business? Aha, over to you. Right. Oh, that's a difficult one, because it depends on what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve. I think all success is personal. I think the main things: stick at it, take advice advisedly, keep to your vision, keep the passion there, and enjoy it. If it doesn't become fun anymore, then perhaps you should think about not doing it anymore. Fun is an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah. I think there's a temptation to make business. We talk about the stuffed shirts, the grey suits. I go to endless meetings, network meetings, when there's just a sea of grey suits, and it's white middle-aged males. Yeah, absolutely. Business is fun. Business is serious fun, and both elements of that are quite important. It's serious and it's fun. If you don't enjoy it, my personal belief is that people who enjoy what they do tend to succeed at what they do. Yes. And if they enjoy doing business and do whatever it is that they do in business, their chances are their business will succeed, because what they do is that they have the ability to be flexible around the edge, because they're always pursuing something which they enjoy. The minute they don't enjoy things, they kind of switch that bit off and move on to something else. That actually is the basis for a successful business. Particularly now, when I was in business many years ago, I think the world. Quite, thank you very much. I think the world was a little bit more predictable then. Today, you work a lot with digital companies, who are at the edge of, every week something changes, and I think it's that ability to be flexible around the edges really valuable. And I think sometimes as well, if you're doing something that you love and it's not all about making the money will come. Yeah. If you're doing something that you're passionate about, you will attract others like you who are passionate about what you do, and don't focus on solely the profit. If you're doing what you love, the money will come. Absolutely. One thing that I've sensed over the last couple of years, for the reason that I'll come on to, which I think is not necessarily a positive thing, and that's the image that's created by certain television programs about what entrepreneurship is and what entrepreneurs are supposed to be about. And we've come across people in the past who have come to us as students, and they're actually in love with being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. They really want to be an entrepreneur. because they've seen all these TV programs, they've read maybe a few books, and they like the idea of being an entrepreneur. The problem is they may not necessarily have a really good business idea. And that's the bit that matters. A really good business idea, because you can be in love with what I see myself as a professional cyclist, I always have done. My body weight and fitness level would suggest that I'm perhaps deluding myself. However, I keep trying.
Okay.
But I think it's about not being in love with the idea of being an entrepreneur, but getting your head around something that could be really enterprising.
So I think that's really good answering the question there.
Is it?
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yes. I could go on.
Yes. I think what we need to do now is just say thank you for joining us today, and log on to www.usbusinessawards.co.uk and get your entries in by the 12th of December.
So
we look forward to reading them.
Yeah, closing date, 12th of December. Get those entries in. Don't forget the address, www.usbusinessawards.co.uk. Thanks for watching. I hope we've been informative, maybe slightly entertaining. If we haven't, we apologise. If there's any further information you need, don't forget that web address and drop us a line, and we'll get back to you individually and personally.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.